So much news for Tesla stock investors today. We'll also discuss the 169 IQ 3D chess move from Tesla potentially, and Elon Musk just tested a production candidate Cybertruck at Giga Texas. All you need to know is displayed on Elon's face right here. This is seriously looking really good for Tesla. Elon says, "I think this is our best product ever." So to me personally, this is bullish. Remember that story from yesterday where an engineering executive left Tesla to join Redwood Materials, which is a company started by a Tesla co-founder, JB Straubel, who is also on Tesla's board right now? James is guessing that Tesla will eventually acquire Redwood Materials. All of these former executives means the culture should align, and why wouldn't Tesla want to vertically integrate a great and environmentally friendly source of raw materials? Elon probably is letting them get their footing and operations moving, and then will acquire them when they can start contributing to Tesla's business. I think that would be a 169 IQ move, 4D chess, 5D chess, and as a bonus, you probably get JB to be the CEO of Tesla, which I would welcome if Elon wants to step down. I would of course still prefer Elon, but if Elon wants to step down, I think JB Straubel is perhaps the single best choice currently. He understands business, but he also understands technology very well. Tesla is in the middle of a major shift in strategy with its solar business. It is laying off employees and closing offices. The company appears to be moving away from being an installer and wants to be a supplier of solar and energy products to other installers. The goal seems to be to own the brain behind the systems with its solar inverter and power walls in order to deploy its virtual power plants and Tesla Electric. This is an electric story, and I find Fred to be a pretty good reporter. It appears that they have multiple sources. I'm not really including solar in my valuation model for Tesla stock, but there is still a chance that this eventually could somehow turn into a pretty significant business eventually. This is good news to me as a Tesla stock investor. Model 3 Highland produced in Giga Shanghai is awaiting launch authorization from China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology. According to the news, on August 25th, Tesla's Shanghai factory conducted a full-day production test for the new Model 3. The new Model 3 has been sent to the relevant departments for testing and is awaiting for that authorization to be launched. It does seem certainly that it could launch pretty soon, maybe as soon as September. Hopefully that happens. However, looking at Tesla's Model 3 inventory globally, it's a bit on a higher side still, although it's a lot less than normal. Citing individuals reportedly familiar with the matter, a Chinese publication recently reported that the Model 3 Project Highland would start deliveries around late September. To make sure that the revamped Model 3's ramp goes smoothly, Tesla China is reportedly looking to resume production at Gigafactory Shanghai's Phase 1 battery plant. Also, if you remember earlier, the Model 3 started receiving the full $7,500 EV tax credits, and there was some speculation that Tesla is perhaps not using as many of these battery packs from China, but found other sources where they can get the batteries from, therefore reducing the need of imported battery packs from its Giga Shanghai factory to the USA. The Chinese publication continues by saying now demand is up, so Phase 1 is ready to reopen again. I would like to emphasize that this is largely speculation and rumors. These are not really facts, but there's probably some truth in all of these facts. Now, Giga Shanghai has basically 3 phases, you could say: Phase 1, Phase 2, and Phase 2.2. Giga Shanghai's Phase 1 battery plant can produce about 3,000 to 4,000 battery packs per week, while Phase 2 and 2.2 can produce 10,000 packs per week. So if we add everything up, that comes to maybe as much as 100,000 packs per month. That's the theoretical capacity, which exceeds Giga Shanghai's current production of vehicles. But you gotta remember that a lot of these battery packs are exported to, for example, the US. Tesla's Giga Berlin faces production challenges amid staff shortages. The production rate at the plant recently fell below 4,000 Model Ys per week. According to the most recent update from Tesla in March, Giga Berlin had achieved a production rate of 5,000 Model Ys per week. However, it appears that this level of production was a one off event, as internal documents and statements from Tesla employees indicate that the factory is struggling to maintain its production pace. Internal documents seen by Business Insider reveal that the factory's production targets have been revised downwards to 4,350 cars per week. Internal sources claim that the actual production rate is currently below 4,000 cars per week. If you remember, there was this post when Tesla reached 4,000 per week in Germany. This is a pretty big deal, right? And then there was pretty significant celebration, I would say, from Giga Texas. Then they reached 5,000 per week as well, just like Berlin did, right? Well, I can't find any pictures from before of anyone celebrating the 5,000 production goal achievement. It was sort of pretty not special. Here's the tweet from back then of Tesla supposedly celebrating the achievement. I don't see any celebration there. So my hunch is that Tesla knew this was not going to be sustainable in the short term. And Drive Just Like Canada here says that the primary reason behind these challenges is a shortage of workers within the factory, with existing employees complaining about heavy workload, shifts going unfilled, and an increase in sickness rates. Sounds to me that Tesla would just simply need to pay its workers maybe a little bit more in Germany. You pay more, and all of the jobs will be filled. Tesla has just leased a massive 1 million square foot warehouse in Kyle, Texas, 33 miles from Giga Texas. Tesla could eventually lease the entire industrial park, which totals over 1.4 million square feet spread among 5 buildings.
This space will serve as parts distribution and light assembly supporting Giga Texas production. This location is strategic because just 12 minutes away, also in Kyle, Texas, we have 2 trade partners, Plasticon and Sim1 North America. It is believed that these companies provide interior parts such as seats and dash components for the Model Y and Cybertruck. It's nice to see Tesla taking over Texas in such a positive and collaborative way. I just hope Texas can return the favor someday by allowing Tesla to sell its vehicles directly to Texas customers.
Tesla's expansion continues. I talked about this supercharging location in Malaysia about a month ago, which is the first of its kind in Malaysia, and now it is officially open. Elon replied to this tweet by saying, almost like there's a trend, the tweet said, in 2007, Tesla generated $73,000 in revenue for the year. In 2010, $73,000 every 5 hours, then every 9 minutes in 2015, then every minute 34 seconds in 2020, and now every 23 seconds, Tesla generates $73,000 in revenue. The Cybertruck was spotted being tested at Tesla's Fremont factory track, and 5 Cybertrucks were spotted, and there are some guesses how many Cybertrucks Tesla has already made. If Tesla is already making a few Cybertrucks per day, then if Tesla does not do a delivery event at the end of September, it's purely because Tesla just wants to do it that way, not because Tesla can't do it. Tesla's Magic Dock expanded to Canada, which I'm very happy with as a Canadian, allowing both Teslas and non-Tesla EVs to charge at superchargers. There's this new article on electric, and electric is getting heat about it. Tesla is paying $20,000 a year to be on Elon Musk's X, and it's not clear why. That last part, I think, is what the controversy is all about. I personally, as a Tesla shareholder, I don't have any issues with it. It's a very small amount, but the point that electric is trying to make there is that what if Elon or Tesla was doing the exact same thing with Instagram, for example, or Facebook? Wouldn't Elon take this down immediately? And I'd say to that, you know what? If Tesla wants to post on Instagram or on Facebook, I welcome it. Go do it. Electric is complaining that Tesla has many Twitter accounts, for example, Tesla Asia, Tesla Optimus, Tesla Megapack, etc., etc., etc. There are many Tesla accounts on Twitter, and each account costs extra money, of course, and I don't really see that as a problem. What is perhaps a problem, and this is a fairly valid point, is if you have an account and it has pretty much no activity at all. But I think that's cherry picking a little bit, because if you look at a lot of these accounts, for example, Tesla Europe is fairly active. You can see posts regularly from Tesla Europe. Here's Tesla Japan, which is fairly active, actually. And another thing that you have to understand is that these accounts are not necessarily focused on investors. These accounts are focused on consumers. So if I live in Japan, for example, I don't want to follow just the general Tesla account. Why would I want to do that and have my feed spammed with what's going on in US, for example? That Tesla opened a new supercharger location in Canada. I don't care. But let's say I live in Korea, which is a pretty active account actually on Twitter, and you follow Tesla Korea. I want to see exactly what's going on. If they open a new supercharger location, let's say a big one, or there's something really new specifically about my country that's specific to my Tesla, yeah, I want to hear about it. And seeing content in my own language, that is amazing. So no, I don't have any problems at all with Tesla paying Twitter, or X now. If anything, I'm really happy that Tesla is on Twitter and that Elon owns Twitter, or X now, because that sort of gives Tesla a slightly unfair advantage, because Elon understands how Twitter works inside out, or X now, and it allows Elon to set up Tesla's operations on X in the best possible way to get the most reach, I think. A new version of FSD beta is rolling out now. You may want to check if you don't have this update yet. Tesla continues its V4 supercharging expansion. This is going to be the 8th in the world. This article at first surprised me, but then I started reading it. There are now more Tesla charging stations than Shell petrol stations in the United States. As of June 2023, Tesla's 17,000 US charging stations surpassed Shell's 14,000 gas stations. There's one important thing we have to all understand though, and that is we have about 2,000 supercharging locations in the US, and there are 13,000 Shell gas stations in the US, but that's how we get to 18,000 Tesla supercharger connectors, which that article called basically charging stations. That is not exactly great reporting. Sawyer estimates that there are about 80,000 Shell gas pumps. You rarely see a story in the news about Tesla's achievements or capabilities being exaggerated. So in a way, I welcome this, but I will correct a misleading story or an inaccurate story if I see it. The Tesla Model Y is the fastest selling used EV in the US. It stays roughly 47.5 days on average on the market. Government records show that Tesla and the government of Ontario in Canada met for years about investment opportunities. Specifically, Ontario has been working for at least 3 years to secure a major investment from Tesla, and maybe one day they will actually succeed. Tesla sent another email reminding all of the potential customers that they can get a $500 rebate for each Powerwall installed if they do so before October 31st. According to this fan-made Cybertruck reservation tracker, there are almost 2 million reservations currently. We have to remember that the $100 deposit was refundable and that many people were told that they would be able to lock in the FSD price. I think the conversion rate of these reservations to actual orders will mostly depend on how much is the Cybertruck actually going to cost and what are the final specs. How many miles of range do I get? How fast is it? And I know of one person who has something like 20 reservations. There must be more people like that. But it is obvious that there are indeed a lot of actual reservations out there. And even though we don't know the exact specs yet and the price, people still keep reserving the Cybertruck, which I view as really good news. What do you think will happen when people actually start seeing the Cybertrucks on their streets? I think many of them will think, that's a pretty good looking Cybertruck, maybe I should get one too. And then we're gonna go to a Tesla website and order one, or maybe they will order another Tesla vehicle. We have a few more renders of the refresh Model 3. These are not official, but supposedly it's going to look exactly like this. There's some good insight from this account here. So supposedly the back is going to look something like this. And I think if you actually look very closely right here, I mean, right here, you can sort of see something. There's some sort of, I don't know, there's something going on here. What do you guys think? Maybe we are just imagining things, but there's a chance it could have this huge taillight. Tesla now shows a new video on his homepage, and that first initial shot was pretty cool, where you can see everything through the roof of a car. It's also not advertising test drives on the homepage anymore. They now just show the Model 3 and its starting price of $32,740 after incentives. Gary Black reiterates that the long-term fundamentals of Tesla are strong, and he says that the biggest Tesla risk is new configurator price cuts, which would likely be matched by competitors. He says that if Tesla just discounts its inventory, these price cuts are basically just temporary and it only impacts the quarter's profitability, but configurator price cuts, he says, are permanent. And I completely strongly disagree with that, because Tesla has raised prices before. So think about this. If Tesla actually seriously commits to advertising and runs multiple national campaigns and does really good ads, do you think there will be no increased demand? If we have increased demand, that means prices would have to go up, unless Tesla would just be okay with long wait times. However, I do see where Gary is coming from. If you are modeling Tesla's sales, yeah, I see why you would want to model after current prices that are displayed in the configurator, but I don't think that really is a really good way to look at Tesla. I disagree that these are permanent price cuts. They may turn out to be permanent, but not if Tesla seriously decides to advertise on a big scale. I personally think it makes a lot more sense for Tesla to release the refresh Model 3 first before the release of the Cybertruck, because the Cybertruck will not only attract more attention to itself once it's out there on the streets after the delivery event, but the Cybertruck will also attract a lot of attention to other Tesla vehicles. Just looking at how many Cybertrucks Tesla is already producing, I think Tesla could probably host a delivery event by the end of September. But if the refresh Model 3 is not ready by then, I think Tesla should delay the launch event to maybe October, November, or whatever they need to do. Because if we don't do this, then I think we will miss out on this free advertising for the refresh Model 3. And probably the refresh Model 3 will also have higher margins. And for the Cybertruck, launching it now or a month or 2 months later than planned, I don't think it'll make any difference, because we have so many reservations already. So the moment we launch it, we'll have way too much demand, basically. Already we have too much demand because we have so many reservations. I traveled the UK and Ireland in an electric car, and what a shocker, nothing went wrong. I like headlines like this. Look at what NIO's CEO said. Don't adore Tesla's stinky feet. He says that he hopes people will like NIO's vehicles when they see them on the street. Lucid Air price cuts are working. Sales are on the rise, the CEO of Lucid says. Well, we'll come back in a month or 2 or 3 and see what's going on then. Elon just said $1 trillion market cap for X is not out of the question. I wish X was a public company so I could buy some shares. If Elon gets X to $1 trillion in market cap, that would be a lot more than just a 10x based on the price that he paid for it. YouTube says you should watch this video next, but if you haven't finished watching this Elon Musk interview, watch it first. My name is Matt Posius. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.